The bench, as we just saw there, you've got 5 names: Scarlett, Harley, Mackie, Milburn, Enright. If you had 2 spots available in an All-Australian side, who would you pick?
That's a very tough question because I'd put all those names up and say that they all should be definites this year.
Right, but Wolsey's got 2 spots left. Give me your top 2. Scarlett, Harley, Mackie, Milburn, Enright. They've all had fantastic seasons, haven't they?
They have.
Scarlett and Harley, I think Harley's been great for us. He's been centre-half back. He can play on smalls, he can play on talls. Yeah. He sometimes looks like he doesn't have an opponent, but he actually does. He just makes good decisions. I think Corey Enright's a person that probably doesn't get the kudos that he deserves. Very, very good defensive player and can be used in an attacking role as well as what Mackie does as well. He does it well. So maybe if I say the other 2 and leave Scarlett and Harley out, they might get in anyway.
You've got St Kilda on Sunday. When does the coaching staff sit you down and start talking about the strengths and weaknesses of the Saints?
That'll probably happen on Wednesday before our main training session. We'll talk about the Saints. Until then, we'll just go about our business and worry about what we have to control. I'd say sides probably spend 80% on talking about themselves and how they've got to go about a game, and probably only 20% on the opposition these days.
Steve, we're not going to trawl through the past, but there was that famous incident at the Torquay pub when you broke your ankle, or did serious damage to the ankle. You've had 7 operations on it since then, so much so that Collingwood and Essendon didn't believe that you were medically sound enough to chase a couple of years ago. How is it now, and do you need any running repairs?
The ankles are really good. I've been really pleased with how they've gone the last probably 3 years. It's been since probably 2005 that I've had an operation on that right foot. It's fair enough. My ankles, you know, it would be a risk if I had been traded a couple of years ago. But like you said before, I've played the last sort of 42 games straight. So I'm really happy with where they're at, and yeah, touch wood, they stay that way.
What about your coach? You've played under him for your entire league career. How has he changed over the journey?
I think he's probably mellowed down a little bit. He's never been a bloke that will rant and rave, but I think with the success, he just knows that he's doing a good job, and he's comfortable with where he's at, and he's coaching really well. I think sometimes people probably think that we coach ourselves, but the amount of work that Bomber does, he's a really good coach with points on the opposition, and also the 3 assistants. Ken Hinkley, Brendan McCartney and Brenton Sanderson's been great since coming over last year. What was your best performance as a team this year, do you think? Closest you can get to your optimum? I think it was probably when we played West Coast over there, but they have been a little short on players. I think we played pretty well against Sydney a couple of weeks ago. I mean, there's a lot of good games. We obviously had 21 wins, so it's not always the ones where you win by 150 points or, you know, over 100 points that you think are your better games. You really like to play in those close games. They're the ones you feel like you learn more from. Is Tommy Hawkins a chance? Is he in the mix? I mean, he's missed a lot of footy, played a couple of good ones in the VFL. Is he advanced enough, do you think, to be considered to play in the finals? Yeah, I think he'll be considered. In saying that, Tommy Lonergan's probably the guy that's ahead of him, and he's playing good footy, and I mean, that's up to the coaches, but it's good that he's knocking on the door, and he's been playing well since coming back from injury.
Did you watch the Saints on the weekend?
I did flick over. I'd probably thought that we were going to be playing Adelaide, but when I seen the score, I think I heard on the commentary that they were a chance to get the top 4. I did walk upstairs in the middle of my dinner just to check it out.
Well, you take on the Saints on the weekend. I think it's on Sunday. We wish you well, and we look forward to seeing your exploits again on the MCG over September. Thanks for coming up.
Thanks, Jared.
Thanks, Steve.
Thanks, Steve.
Steve Johnson, Norm Smith medalist, our special guest. More after the break.